That's a hard one. But what's the one? You guys are the gurus. You guys are the experts, right? And you guys get asked questions all the time, and you answer them all the time. But what's the one question you really wish people were asking you? And if you don't need to go in order,
I'll point back to this product evaluation tool that we made. That it takes work, right? So we gave this to 600 members of our course because what was happening, people were bringing products to us because we'll evaluate every single product for every member in our course. Nate and I will personally evaluate it. Well, they were bringing us products and doing no research on it. So we were like, man, you're expecting us to do all the work. So we created this awesome tool that takes about 2 hours to fill out, right? Out of those 600 members, how many of them do you think filled it out?
15.
Three. Because it's work, right? It takes 2 to 3 hours to, go through and find out all the different information, and people won't do that. And so I think that's what I would say.
Right. So if you take all the steps, don't just, because I see this all the time in Scott's group, right? They take their Jungle Scout photo and they post it in the Facebook group and they say, what do you all think of this product?
Yeah, that one question thing, I'm still thinking about what I should say. I really got one word because I hear it all the time because exactly that. And I think everyone asks all the questions because they're scared. And heck, I'm still scared to launch a product. I'll be up here, I'll be one admitting it. And it's money, right? We don't want to lose money, it's scary. But the one question I always ask, what do I do first? Where do I start? And I've got a saying that I say to everyone that listens to my podcast or that's in my group, just start.
You stole my thunder with their stuff. I was going to say, I'd be really brave and say the question I'd like to hear is, where do I start? I was going to be really brave there. Yeah, I'd echo that. Just start. Start small and scale up. You do not need to come into private label with a huge bankroll. Don't be afraid of it. Come in, start it, get into the traction, choose a path, and don't listen to what every single thing that every person says, or else you will have paralysis by analysis. That just happens. Because if you listen to every single thing that every person is saying, you won't get anywhere. Choose a path. The first product will be your hardest, no doubt about it. But it gets easier every single time you do it, because once you jump over one hurdle, you don't need to jump over that again. You don't need to learn how to use Alibaba. You don't need to contact another freight forwarder. You don't need to learn just quite as much about negotiations or the importing process or customs or all these wonderful things that you're going to start dealing with. Once you've done them once, you've learned it and you can move on forward. Your second product will be a lot easier.
I'd like the question to be, what's been your best investment? And for me, it's my wife. But no, seriously, build a support team. Whether it's a spouse, whether it's workers, invest in yourself. Invest in the long-term vision. Think bigger than you're thinking today. Because if you're only worried about today or this week's money or this month's money, you're never going to grow. You're always going to be in that small hamster wheel. And so you have to think bigger. And sometimes that includes just building a group, coming to events like this, invest.
Great. So I've gone through the process. I've found my product. I know what I want to do. I might have even gone to a manufacturer and I've got the price for it, and I have a home run. I know that I found the niche product and it's a home run. But I need to bring out variations for this product. I need to bring out, I need cash, right? Because you can start small, but you need cash to get big, right? We haven't really gotten to the evolution side. What opportunities are out there if I have my product and I have what I want to do, but I just don't have the cash to do it?
Talk to my wife, Emma. Not to pitch anything, but we have something, a solution for folks who need some money. You can get an investor, you can go out and raise funds, you can do Kickstarter. There's all kinds of ways to pair up with some folks who have money.
I'm going to be a contrarian again. No surprise. I don't like home runs. I like to bunt to first base. Using your analogies again. Okay, I've got it all. I like to bunt the first base with products so that I can get that horizontal growth. But also, if we've done our numbers, which again, you're hearing that from every single person up here, run your numbers. If we do that, we're making 100% profit on our investment, or ROI, because that's what, if anything's under 100%, I won't touch it. Gotta be 100%. If we can flip that inside 3 to 6 months, and the money is starting to flow, if we can manage that cash flow, this thing can feed itself. Because if we're making 100%, you can double down every time you order. So don't get afraid of having to invest, because also if you find that your first product is selling at a certain level, you're going to be, once it hits that plateau, you can be assured that that's going to happen the next day and the next week. Therefore, you can put that product on autopilot. You can finance that product because you know it. Then use your own money again to go back into number 2. Then number 1 and number 2, they become number 3 and number 4. Because you can keep doubling. So that's where I would go with that, guys.
Yeah, I would say, that's great, and I would say, again, the baseball analogy, I like that. Bunt, singles, those are good. If you get a home run, then great, but you can't technically shoot for that. And a lot of people want to shoot for that 100 sales per day, which I think is not a good idea. But going after the money to get it, like if you got this great idea, the first thing is you go back to just start, right? So if you only have a certain amount of money to start, and you can't find a partner or an investor or someone that can help you with that, then you have to be creative, right? I just interviewed a guy the other day that went, you guys are, a lot of you are probably retail are. I mean, he went and he found stickers on Craigslist and ended up selling them for like $1,100. He profited. So he took that $1,100 and he went in and he started his private label. He's got 4 products launching now. That's, it's probably like a 9-month process. But still, he started and he got that momentum, but he went after and he raised his own money. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, but biggest thing is just start and figure out a way. But partnerships, investments, whatever.
Yeah, I definitely would say partnerships. So just in the last 2 months, I have 4 partnerships with 4 other sellers. I was talking to Cheryl last night, right here. Cheryl, raise your hand. She has a great partnership with Brian. They're working on their first product, right? They're like 4 months in. And for me, it definitely, because now I can leverage the expertise, right, of this partner, and then he can leverage my expertise. And that's one thing I see all the time in the Amazon seller communities. They always do it with RA or they do it with OA, right? Well, I think private labeling is going to be coming to that too, where set up strategic partnerships, right, with other sellers, because then there's less risk. You got to put out less capital.
Great. Let's just go through real quick, and how can people find you?